Hello and welcome to part 12 of building a dynamic community social network website in PHP and MySQL. And we're using some Flash and having some other types of fun. And in this one we're going to be working in Dreamweaver CS4 like we've been throughout the series. And we started in Dreamweaver 8. And we switched to CS4 because it's better. But what we're going to do in this one is if we go to Web Intersect, I'm going to show you how just for temporarily, just for the time being, I'm going to put in a list of the members right here on top where this animated flash banner will live eventually. It's probably the last thing I'll do for the site. That'll be a tutorial too. How about that? What I'm going to do is run a query in the database to list out all the names that we have in the database, make them links to the person's profile, just so we can see everybody who's joining for the testing beta phase and building phase. Not beta really, the building phase, because there's never been anything like this done before. This is unprecedented tutorialing here. I don't even know if that's a word, but this tutorialing, unprecedented tutorialing. That's what we're doing here, y'all. Okay, so there'll be a list of names there, so we have to develop that on the home page. So let's go to File, Open, the desktop. There's Web Intersect, root folder, and in there we have the index page. And let's also open the profile page. And we're going to grab that query. Actually, let's just grab all the PHP. And if you've been following along, you know the source files are available every step of the way, free to use as you like. No questions asked. I won't sue you for anything if you use this in any way you like, except if you use it as a tutorial on another website. If you offer this as a tutorial like I'm offering it, I will destroy you. Okay, so what we'll do is grab all this PHP. I think we did that already. Control C, go into index.php, but you can use this to build any kind of social network community for yourself or for clients. Make money building for clients, but just don't show it as a tutorial, because I'll get mad and I'll send a team of mad monkeys to destroy you. Okay, so let's go to code. On the profile page, you see we have no PHP block on top, so let's paste that in. Control V, what we copied from the profile page, and session start does not need to be there, because we're not going to access any session variables for rendering this query loop. Okay, so we're going to connect to the database. Let's see, scripts, yep. And we're not going to have to do any conditionals here. Let's get rid of those. And that. Okay. Now we have an SQL query here. Let's say, give ourselves a note, gather all the members for temporary display. Gather all the members for temporary display. So MySQL query is select all from my members table where ID equals ID. So let's just get rid of, to make it just a query to gather everybody out, remove the where clause, and that's it. Select all from my members. See how simple that is? And then you can set a limit here too. If you only wanted to pick 10, you can set a limit in there, and you can research limit in MySQL queries if you like, and I will show some techniques using that later on in the series. For right now, we just want to display the members for temporary display on the home page. So just so we can see everybody who's joining, see what's up. You know what I'm saying? It'd be cool. Okay, so in this query, all we have to gather, we don't need all of this information. We just need, jeez, putting break tags everywhere. We just need ID and name, first name and last name. I removed middle name. Didn't I? I thought we removed middle name. I'm pretty sure I did. That shouldn't be there. Just comment that out. Remember, we removed it from the database because we didn't want to gather the, let me see, file, open the register page, see if we're still gathering. Nope, just first name and last name. Yeah, we removed it, I think in part 11. So don't need that, get out of here, bye bye. That's the profile page. Let's see, first name, last name, first name, last name. Okay, looks like we got rid of that there too. Alright, let's get back to what we were doing here, sorry. And now we'll go to pull only the items we need. So middle name, definitely don't need that. Don't need any of those. Because the profile.php page is going to access all that information anyway, so you don't need to gather it all. Just the name and the ID to make the link label and the actual link. So we'll need those two items, those three items, because we'll use first name and last name. Sign up date, none of that stuff. Oh yeah, we'll show a picture too. Let's see, check pic. That mechanism still in place and functional. You leave that just like it is, and it will render the person's, whoever's ID is coming through this loop here. So in the query, we changed it just from selecting one person to selecting all the persons in the database, and it's going to be rendered out in a loop. So within this while loop is where you have to set up the display in variable form, and I'll show you that right now. Let's type in members display list. That'll be our variable name. Let's make sure we give it the $sign. Okay, and this is going to equal, let's just close it off with single quotes. Let's go single quote, put a couple spaces, single quote, and semicolon. Alright, we're going to put something in there in a second. First, we're going to grab it and put it up top above the while loop, right above it. We have to claim this variable before we want to use it like that on the page, because we're going to make this compound. I'm not sure of the proper terminology for it because I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but what this variable is going to do is each time one of these members comes out of the database in this while loop, that's what this while loop is doing. So when you run a query like this, and then you run a while loop on that SQL query, then it's going to bring out all the items that you requested inside of this loop, and this is where you display everybody dynamically. Well, we'll display them down in the HTML section, but this is where we gather the list for rendering in the HTML section of the page. Okay, so let's grab what do we need? We got member list started there. We added the dot right here, and this dot makes it compound. So each time this one of the members hits the loop, it's going to make a new part of the list. It's that simple. Okay, so, and it's all going to compound in this variable, so down in the HTML section all you have to do is print out this variable. Alright, so what we're going to do is write a link, href, first thing, write the link out. And this is going to equal, put in our double quotes and close it, and let's also close the a tag, and then let's type in profile, or you can put the full URL, which we'll do that. I'll do that right here. And then slash profile.php. Remember, that's the page that renders all of our members dynamically. Profile.php, and then have to append a variable to it. So in profile.php, you see we're looking for this ID, this right here. So let's Control C on that, and let's append it to the string. Use URL variables, or yep. So ID equals $ID to get that ID variable. Now there's a link. It's going to be a link to everybody's profile that comes out in this loop. And all you have to do is put the word here. Actually, that's not going to render correctly until you do this. You got to add single quote, space, period, space. The spaces really aren't necessary, but I like to do it like that. Then space, period, space, close single quote. You see what I just did? So I kind of wrapped it, and that's necessary for making the variable display correctly. So here we're going to do the same thing. Control C, grab that whole little thing there, and then this is going to be the member name, first name and last name. First name, space. Okay, let's grab one of these, copy one of these PHP prints here, nest, and let's go here, display it. Let's go to split, right there in the gray box where it says cool animated banner flash blah blah blah. And we don't want it to stay style sheet, we want to print out this member display list. So let's change that right there. And let's see what we get. And let's pop their last name in there. Let's see, let's just grab this whole thing, put a space, change this to last name. See if this works. FTP it up. Go to the site, refresh. There's first names and last names. Okay, now let's go to, see, we want to find out how many. Let's see, let's try this. Right above the query, or right under the query, let's say number of rows equals MySQL num rows, and let's put the SQL right in there. Now put an equal sign here. That should do it. Now let's print this out with it. maybe somewhere at the bottom. Actually, let's put it right there in the member display list, first thing. There are numbers members, and we gotta make sure that this has its and space dot and single quote, so it's single quote space dot variable space dot space single quote to render it out. Let's see if that works. And let's put a break, 2 break tags there. 1, 2. And I add break tags like that by pressing Shift Enter. I think it's Shift Enter in Dreamweaver. Let's see if this works here. I might have broke the code. Let's see if I broke it. Cool. There are 87 members, and then it lists all 87 members. Now we can click, and there I am. There's that guy, he didn't put a picture. That person didn't put a picture. Nobody's putting pictures. What's wrong with you people? My God. What's wrong with people and putting their pictures up? I wrestled with that for the longest time at Develop PHP. And guess what I did? Hey, there we go. Daniel Schultz, word up, my man. Love you, bro. But anyway, sorry. But at Develop PHP, I forced in my join form. Like, if you go to Develop PHP in the register form, let's see, join, upload your picture. It's in the form, and if you don't, you press submit. Please set an image to represent yourself. You must do that in order to join. See, I beat them. I beat the people who don't like to add an image when they make a profile somewhere. They just want to get in, get the files, or get whatever they're looking for and get out. And I won't stand for it. Not for a minute. I might do the same thing at WebIntersect, but I doubt it. Okay, so that's that. Now let's talk about this. Let's clean it up. We don't need this style sheet thing from the other stuff we grabbed, and we can take this and make this like 50. This would be pretty cool. And then we'll add the picture. Just say user pick. See, we'll add it right before the words. Let's see if that works. Index.php, FTP it up, WebIntersect, and refresh. Oops. Yes. There's something to be noted about this. If I was to wrap this in double quotes instead of single quotes, that would work no problem. But since I'm using single quotes to render this string, I must make sure that I render it with the single quote space dot space variable space dot space single quote method. You gotta wrap it up like that so it displays right. Index.php, or so it renders right in the HTML. There it is. And now we can see who's cool and put up their pictures. Yes! Check out David Willis's picture. BAM! Sweet. Okay, that's it for this part. I'll be cleaning this up, but it's fun to look at anyway. Actually, you know what I'll do? We'll add it to the footer. Actually, I'll show you how to do that really quick. Show you a little bit of magic. A little bit of add magic. Leave that box gray and empty. Let's go open footer template, and right at the very bottom, let's print that out. And you can see there's no query up in here or anything, but it's gonna render, and I'll show you. Index.php. This is something that would take a beginner a little while to understand when it comes to making their websites with the FTP, the footer. That would help. Footer template. When it comes to making websites with templates, see? Now it's on the bottom, and we can all go there and look at everybody. Ha 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 ha. Okay, so in the next lesson, we're going to pimp out these profiles. Make the profiles look a little cooler. Make them bring in the YouTube channel. We're going to embed the YouTube channel with the information I already got from you guys. It's going to be really neat. So we'll see you guys in part 13, the unlucky one. Ha ha.